All right, guys, here back with you on the 23rd here. It's close for second place here, but I guess we have a tie here. BNB and Neo here. Somebody just voted. Now I got a tie here. All right, well, so this won't take long here. This is damn near the identical account to Litecoin. Possibly a little variation here. It looks like we could have more to go here. So we'll work through this quickly here. I think we can all agree we got an impulse off the low. Now with a low down here at $4 and a high at $40, we certainly would make sense to go into log scale just to kind of take a look at it. And again, the waves pop out at you. So hard to argue with the impulse off the low. Now coming from the high to the low here. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the A, B, so we can come out of log scale here now. A, the B. We said we get a slight truncation in the B of the C, but I think you got to work with this as an A, B, and into a C. It's essentially, it's a double top, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the A. I mean, so how do you, when you're looking at it going, could be that, oh, maybe. Well, so certainly looks like you got 5 here. So to get that 3, that structure here of 3, I think you're better to play it that way. And then again, you just use your fib tools here so we can pull this off here and work on the downside. So pump, it's the same thing, guys, every time. All right, that's the power of it, right? So here's 50 to the tick, right? Your little reaction. So we don't have to wonder what happened here, right? We know what happened there. Okay, so can we come down here and get to 5? Well, 1, 2, the 1's a little shaky. Looks like you have a slight truncation in the 5th of the 1. Oh, hey, let's go down an hourly here and have a look here. Let's pop this back. So here's the B. Let me pull this up a little bit. So do you see what I mean here? It looks like you have to work this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't get a new low here. But I think you got to work with that, and then you get the AB. I know this is a little hard to see, but you guys will see this on your chart. I think the ABC into the 2 is right there. So you got to live with, you could call it a double bottom or a truncated 5 in the 1. But I think when you work through, so of course you wouldn't know, right? If you're over here, you don't know. But now that we have all this, we can say, all right, do I have the ingredients here that would support this as an impulse to finish my C wave? Can make a case for it. So first thing we'd look at here, and you go, all right, well, where's my 3? Is it here? Is here? Where am I? So, all right, so you know exactly what I'm going to do here, right? So we're going to take, now I'm going to use the lower low, right? So just pulling off of that. Well, shit, you wouldn't do either. I would use the lower low here. So where's our high probability zone for 3? Right here. Now, yeah, we have a wick coming through that. So you look here and you go, is it here? But that looks more like that would be the 3 of the 3. So it looks like we get the final push down here to give us the completing wave of the 3. So that looks like that's the 4 of the 3 to give us down here. So despite breaking that zone, that looks like the most probable that we get our 3 here. And then again, it's a little bit of a squirrely. We got to go A, B, C into the 4 here. So how does that look? Right here we got structure. So again, same thing you would do every wave count, every time, same thing, right to the 38, right where you're looking for it. Right, so it's not rocket science here. And then we've got, note here, we've got no market acceptance here. Right, there's nothing there. Right, this went so quickly through it, you don't build a base. So what do? We come right to the edge of it. Right, just coincidentally, you tell me. Coincidentally, right at the 38, I would tell you, 0 coincidences in the market. Okay, so now it looks like we've got one more drive down here to complete this 5. We can see we're already at a new low here. So if that's going to complete down here, we use that, and we could sort of try and stack the algo targets here, because you could do this. You could go low to low here. Now we're 50 to the tick, right? I always try and give him credit for that. That's David Halsey's interpretation here. Algo can't get the 50 from the high to low, right? They go low to low right here, right? You can see it's to the tick. So looking here, right, so I always interpret that as that it's almost, not always, but almost always, the 50 from low to low will be within ticks of the high to low 38, right? That's why I don't change the target. So here we get that, but if you were wanted to double check that, then I might just use some more traditional Elliott measure relationship. So length of the 1 projected from the 4. So we get a pretty fat zone of targets down here. Right, whether it's the 100, the 1272, or the algo target, I got a nice fat target down here. It's not, well, 18 to 1660, so it's not that fat, right? We got a nice, so of course it lends itself rather nicely to putting a channel on this. We might do it that way, so a little overthrow here, but this would we'd get 3 pivots here. So are we coming down here to get the lower edge? You know, I wouldn't bet against that myself, right? So, but is that setting up for, let's get this off here. Let's go back to that 3 hour here now that we got the detail in that lower count. So putting that back together from our low, get right on it to that high. Well, isn't that coincidental? Right? Or is it, right? You tell me, right? As I tell you, there are no coincidences. Okay, so that would put us getting that target we just drew literally in the middle of the golden zone. So is that enough to be a buyer? Well, yeah. So I wouldn't shy away from being a buyer there, but I wouldn't be just sitting there with limit orders. You want to let it have it come down. You want to see the reaction there. You want something a little bit of a pop, so you've got something to work with in terms of whether you're going to wait for the first little move and then the first retracement, so you've got a pivot to work with, so you're looking for that. Or if you wanted to start buying there because you wanted to, you know, make the hero play and try and catch the turn, well, so the advantage of doing that, assuming, right now we're not there yet, assuming we get to the 618, or let's just say we get to the golden zone. Assuming we get there, you know, the advantage of buying at the golden zone is your stop is so close, right? So you can almost always take a trade there because the risk reward is going to be so good. If you get the pivot, right? Emphasis if, right? Nothing that says it has to stop there, but we know there'll be algo participation there. So if it starts to move off of that, well, then you can look for the next first little retrace to add. So again, you wouldn't want to go heavy if you're trying to buy there because you're literally trying to pick the turn, right? Well, so, I mean, not a bad place if you're looking to pick it, to try and be making that turn, but you got to keep the size modest so that if it just collapses here, you don't get hurt with it. Because then you're back to the mental damage. Oh, fuck, what am I doing? Why was that, right? So you start to beat yourself up because you can just wait, get the reaction, take the first retrace, right? Do we go down to a 30-minute? Lower the risk. Right? Think about that the psychological impact, because if you do that knowing, well, let's see, I could try and buy the turn or I could wait for a reaction. If you get slammed here, that's mental damage, right? You're going to be kicking yourself. The woulda, shoulda, coulda starts to come in, and that we know that's a negative cycle to a trader's psyche. So I'd be cautious about doing that. If you do it and you get stopped out, okay, well, you know, it's not that it's a dumb trade to trade size there. Now that would be dumb. There's no reason to do that. What are you worried about missing? If it starts to turn there at some point, the people that make the hero play there are going to want to take some profit, right? Just the little scalpers, right? That's what sets up the retrace. Then now you got something to go with. Now whether you get stopped out, see, I mean, you get stopped out we all get stopped out way more than we don't. So if you're going to get stopped out, you don't want it to be something where you look at it and go, well, that was stupid. You know, you want to try and avoid those, because then you go into it and you go, all right, stops are just part of it. If I get this and then I get stopped out by something like that, at least you're not back here reviewing your trades, right? As you would always want to do. You're reviewing that going, okay, why did I do that trade? What was I after here? Did I really think that through? Yeah, I would take that trade. You know, again, if you're comfortable with trying to pick that turn, you know, that's a decision. Do you want to continue to be doing that? Excuse me. Do you want to continue to try and look for that? Because, you know, I've shown you thousands of examples where that's exactly where the pivot happened. So I can see the temptation to do it. Just don't do it with size. Right? You always, if you get the turn, the first thing you're looking to do is, where can I add? Right? Rather than load the boat here and then take the bigger hit, even though it's relatively small in terms of distance of price. If you load it up with leverage, that's going to sting. And then you're back to going, you know, that psychological damage. So think twice about it, right? If you're going to do it. make sure that you're at peace with the idea. Okay, I'm trying to pick the turn, so I'm going to keep a tight stop. If I get stopped out, I'm okay with that. Right now you're not back here going, God, that was dumb. Right, you're not doing something impulsive. you thought it through. Right, that's a different scenario than just you pull up the chart and, oh shit, it's right there, or an alert goes off and, oh, I gotta buy it. Right, that's just an impulsive. You don't have a plan put together. That's not the way to approach it. You know, I've done both, right? So I'm not. You know, I mean, if you can catch the turn, right, there's nothing better, right? So then you just feel brilliant. But, you know, it does that, you're not so brilliant. So my suggestion is, right, so again, what are you worried about? Why are you down there fighting for pennies? Right? Oh, I could have gotten it at 16.10, but I didn't get filled until 16.35. Really? Right? If this is a 1-2, do we really care about pennies? Right, what I would do, wait, get the retrace. Okay, now I'm into the third of the 1. Okay, because you know, likely, just gonna, right, just like this, just like pretty much everything we pull up. Right, there's going to be that temptation for the heroes to take that scalp. All right, so there's a few things to think about. All right, we're keeping these short today. Since we had a tie, I'll try and get to Neo as well. All right, guys, back to you.